Good evening and welcome to the most picturesque stadium in Australia, Industry Group Stadium on Darkinjung land here in Gosford, New South Wales, the home of the Central Coast Mariners. You're watching Network 10, 10 Bold and Paramount Plus. 10 years is a long time to wait, but today those fans, the loyal supporters of the Central Coast Mariners, are hoping that that decade of heartbreak is finally coming to an end and that they can qualify for their first grand final since lifting the A-League trophy for the one and only time in their history back in 2013. Standing in their way, that man, Carl Veart, and his Adelaide United side, themselves hoping to overcome a 2-1 deficit from last weekend in the first leg of this semi-final tie. Well, Nick Montgomery had gone with the same starting 11 the last two matches. Both were against Adelaide, 2 wins out of 2, so no surprises to see that it's an identical lineup this evening, looking to make it 4 wins out of 4 against the Reds this season. The youngest side in the country sees their average age lifted by 38-year-old keeper Danny Vukovic. He was a Mariner way back in season 1 of the A-League. McGarry was on the score sheet last weekend. He starts ahead of Farrell at left back. In midfield, Nisbet and Ballard have just 1 yellow card between them this season. While up front, the dynamic duo, Marco Tulio, the Brazilian, and Jason Cummings, the Socceroo. Between them, nearly 50% of the Mariners' goals this season. For Adelaide, calls for change and risk-taking from all angles this week. But coach Carl Veart, who has led this Adelaide turnaround over the last 3 years himself, has made just 2 changes and not the one that everyone was hoping for. Alexander Popovic, he replaces Nick Ansell in the centre of defence, and with Hiroshi Ibasuki suffering a calf injury last weekend, it's Ben Halloran who moves into the number 9 role. Zach Clough heads out to the right wing, and Ethan Alagich returns in midfield in what they say will be a 4-4-2, probably more likely their standard 4-3-3 formation, with Socceroo Craig Goodwin on the left wing. Well, it's not the best start from Adelaide. They went for the kick-off routine and they've turned the ball over immediately. They're chasing that 2-1 deficit from last weekend in the first leg of this semi-final. 90 minutes, perhaps 120, perhaps even penalties. Daniel McBreen to separate these two sides, and it's the Mariners that have had the wood on Adelaide so far this season, and they're off to a positive start here already.
Well, they are. Good evening, everybody. All our viewers out there and at this packed stadium.
57 goals scored by the Mariners this season, 56 for Adelaide, as Tulio takes it short with McGarry. McGarry, who scored a wonderful equalising goal last weekend, looking to catch out Joe Gauci immediately.
Well, confidence sky high after last week's effort. It was a tight angle.
The Mariners haven't been there since 2013. For Adelaide, it was victory in 2016. These two sides just once each in their history lifting the top prize in Australian football. And the head-to-head between them, you couldn't get much closer. 24 wins apiece and 7 draws in their 55 previous meetings. Looks like the occasion has proved all too much for the first match ball, which has lost its pressure. Ben Warland gets it replaced. He's enjoyed his most prolific season in front of goal, with 3 breaking his duck. Oh, as Triantis goes to ground, a little bit too easy. You have to be careful with this referee, Ali Reza Fagani, because if he thinks you're trying to play for something, he's not going to give it.
No, he likes to let the game flow, doesn't he? This is a moment or a position on the field, really, where a lot of defenders will get their body in front, go down and get an easy free kick, but nothing really there. You've got to give it to Reza Fagani there. And play to go on.
Down in front of the yellow army, it's the Reds on the attack. Clough's ball in is a good one. Excellent defensive header from McGarry, driven back in by Alagic. Trying to put that family name back on an Adelaide score sheet. The son of Richie, used to be Carl's old teammate. Here's Nkololo. Back out with Max Ballard. Kaltak. Back for Ballard again. Incredible that those two, he and Nisbet, just one yellow card between them. Two youngsters who have been so impressive in the middle of the park. 22, 23 years of age for Nisbet, 22 for Ballard, who's just picked up 2 degrees from the University of New South Wales while playing. As it's long, over the top, Gauci, has he got there? What does the referee make of that? Because we've got 2 Mariners down. The contact was a yard outside the box. I didn't see any arms or hands used by Gauci.
Well, see the replay and see if Gauci got any contact on the ball, because if he didn't, it has to be a foul. This time we saw long ball goes straight through, direct football. Sam Silvera's got the pace. You see here he's brave, he gets in first, and Gauci gets a touch with the arm.
I think it's a hand by Silvera.
Is it the hand?
It's hard to tell. The contact
bodies everywhere, wasn't there?
Is fierce, but I think the first touch on the ball may have been Sammy Silvera's right hand. Matchups all over the park, of course. Not sure we were expecting the physical battle of Cummings v Gauci. As there, Stormaroo gets back to his feet, but Craig Goodwin wants a free kick and the referee agrees. There are a couple of words from Triantis and Kaltak to Ali Reza Fagani. And of course, without Halloran on the right-hand side today as well, a few changes as Goodwin delivers low and hard near post. Kitto was there. It's going to be a corner. And as we know, Adelaide are the corner specialists in the A-League. More goals from corners than any other side, 13 of them. More goals from set pieces than any other side. 24 set-piece goals. It is Goodwin. Again, it's near post. It's Cummings who heads away. Alagic, oh, he was looking for Goodwin. It was the right idea, but it was well read by Nisbet. Silvera. And now Tullio takes over. Nkololo charging through the middle. Marco Tullio still looking for Nkololo. Isaias strong in the challenge, but I don't think he's kept it in play. And from one corner at one end, the play pours up the other end of the field.
Geez, exciting stuff, isn't it? On one end, it could have been a ball through. Nisbet saw it, played it forward. Sam Silvera helped it on.
And if ever they were on enemy territory, it was this evening in Industry Group Stadium. In it comes, flicked on, back post, Triantis steers it back towards goal. It was Nkololo's flick on, and Gauci claimed. And now Goodwin, fantastic ball forward. It's in behind Nkololo. Halloran, the cut back for Clough, oh, off the post. The base of the left hand upright, and from one corner at one end, straight up the other end.
I think we can record that and just keep replaying that. Gauci straight away, and it was Goodwin who started it with a wonderful ball to Halloran. Great vision there to cut back to Clough, and it just clips the outside of the post. Beautiful free-flowing football from both teams, and it's inches away from drawing level on the tie.
I'm sure Ryan Kitto will be looking to keep an equally close watch on him. Here's Warland up for Goodwin, little layoff for Alagic. Well defended again by Ballard and Silvera. It rolls all the way through. Dorigo, Isaias, who is that deepest lying midfielder, and he's done that well. Turning away from Ballard and Tullio. Ooh, Triantis straight through Alagic. Oh, how about that from Marco Tullio? The Brazilian turning on the style. Silveira, side down by Popovic. And that'll be the first booking.
Well, it was cynical, wasn't it? But he had to do it. Scintillating play from the Central Coast Mariners. One of the hallmarks of a goal of the year contender. Started by the aggressive challenge from Triantis, and then the Brazilian flair. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Wonderful ball through. Silveira with the touch, and look at that challenge.
Tullio's double at Cooper's 3 weeks ago. McGarry last week. It is McGarry. Back post. Oh, and side netting from Brian Kaltak.
Well, I don't think he believed the ball was going to make it to him. A wicked ball in from McGarry. Gauci misses. And he tries to react. You can see there it's come through bodies, and he just tries to get his body in the way because I don't think he can see the ball as it comes through. Yeah. Well, it's been an entertaining 0-0, hasn't it? Real attacking football from both teams. Adelaide have soaked up the pressure in the past 10 or 15 minutes. It still look like they might have a sting in the tail.
Kitto for Halloran. Here they come. One last hurrah. Halloran. He can take the shot early. First shot on target of the half for Adelaide, and it comes with the last kick of the opening 45 minutes, which was a pulsating half of football here in front of a sellout crowd in Gosford. The Mariners will be the happier of the two sides at the break. They still conserve their 1-goal advantage from the first leg. Half-time in Gosford. It's scoreless between the Mariners and Adelaide United. Let's head straight down now, because we've been joined, as the second half is about to get underway, by Mariners Sporting Director Matt Simon. Matty, thanks for joining us. Thanks for your time. What was said at half-time? Mariners still in the box seat.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's just a bit of calmness needed. I think the boys, dominated that first half, but you could see they're a little bit edgy, especially getting on in that final third. But, it was just to calm things down and keep the ball at feet and follow the process, and, we'll get the result that we want.
Simo, it's Mako. We saw last week when Aaron Kunda come on, it was straight away. Farrell, get your boots on and get on there. Will that be the same tonight?
Yeah, look, I don't know. I'm not part of those discussions, but, Farrell's ready to go whenever he's called upon. So, everyone's ready to do a role when they're needed. So, we'll see if he comes on later in the game.
Fantastic. Thank you, Matt Simon, for your time.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
7-time Mariners Golden Boot, and he's not giving too much away, Macca.
No, I don't think.
What happened to those old teammates?
I think he's lying about not being in those conversations. I'll have to have a chat to him after.
Well, it is the Mariners straight onto the front foot. Marco Tullio drawing the challenge from Alex Popovic. Young Popovic, a young Socceroo as well, but a player who burst onto the scene last season, was first choice at the start of this campaign and just fell a little bit out of favour with Carl Veert, but when Nick Ansell hobbled out of the match last weekend, it was Popovic who got the call. Unkololo's stayed down. That's nicely done. Cummings driving into the area, needs to find an option. The comeback and the goal! Sammy Silveira ignites the fireworks in Gosford. They empty the bench. They're coming from everywhere. The Mariners lead by 1 on the night, 2 in the tie, and have 1 foot in the grand final.
Well, they've almost blown the roof off the joint. The crowd's gone wild. A scintillating piece of play from Jason Cummings down that right-hand side. Harvey Norman replay will show the ball comes forward, and he looks like he's going nowhere here. He just is a little faint and drags it, and now he has to get towards the goal, and he's looking. Who's coming to support? And who it is? Sammy Silveira, the man who's been mixed in everything in that first half, comes sliding into the box. Just a little pass back, and he tucks it away into the far corner. And it's a 2-goal advantage to the Mariners now. Fantastic play from Cummings, tidily put away from Silvera. That's advantage Mariners, and the Adelaide United team have a mountain to climb now.
Alagic can't run onto that one. Ballard with Kaltak. Now with McGarry. Well, Matt Simon, the Mariners sporting director, just told us a minute before that they were the happier of the two sides, that they were perfectly happy with how things were going, and they still led by a goal. Well, now it's two.
Well, it's a disaster for Adelaide. Absolute disaster. Start in this second half. They'd soaked up so much pressure to the back end of that first half, and then came themselves with a couple of forays forward.
And Tulio has got the better of Popovic. And Kololo at the back post. Oh, almost an own goal. Tulio again. And it's in. The Mariners are on their way now. Marco Tulio from an impossible angle, threading the needle. They've waited a decade for this. But the Mariners surely now are heading to the grand final.
Well, Robbie, you said he was rubbing off on the other players. Well, on this occasion, the Harvey Norman replay will show, he says, well, I'm going to do it myself this time. Wonderful ball forward. Look at the strength there to hold off the defender. And now it's a decision. Do I play the ball? Gets a little bit lucky. Good save, Gauci. Everyone thinks he's going to square it. He knew what he wanted to do. As Gauci steps off the line, he just tucks it away in that near post area. Composed, quality finish from Marco Tulio. He's provided so much entertainment for this club at the back end of the season. And that's just another highlight to put on the reel. And the Mariners now have a healthy lead. And Nick Montgomery knows what that means. He may have missed out on the grand final as a player 10 years ago, but he is leading his charges here. And he is right at the top of the pile, right in the mix. He has put this group together.
What a moment for Danny Vukovic as well. Lost a grand final with the Mariners. And now, at 38 years of age, having been all over the world, having won the Belgian league, now back at the Mariners and looking to send them back. This incredible club, this tiny club, it must be said, the minnows of the A-League with the youngest squad. Alagic out to show that they have talented youngsters as well. And that's what they need, Adelaide. You can see what it meant to their fans who are really suffering in that far corner of the ground.
Well, we said earlier that they can absorb the pressure and they have a sting in the tail. They have the quality to score goals. Don't write them off yet. It's a monumental task. But they can score goals, this team.
Feel the energy build around that contest and how quickly Farrell got to his feet once they saw that Irankunda was coming on. He also gave Irankunda a little nod, Robbie. He said, yes, I'm up for this.
Diaharis into the area, the cutback cleared by Popovic. Well, those two, the youngsters, 17-year-old Irankunda, 20-year-old Jacob Farrell. What a battle that promises to be for as long as they both stay in the A-League as well, because there are plenty of rumours about Bayern Munich are in big time for Nestor Irankunda. And it's not really fair to put this much pressure on the shoulders of a 17-year-old, is it? But we know what he can do, and this is his moment. Tulio delivers the ball in. The header from Alagic. Goodwin. Farrell. His first touch. Nisbet. Back with Ballard. For Tulio, great first touch. Wonderful touch into the area. The cutback, Nisbet. Cummings! Saved by Gauci. Farrell drives it back in. Cummings is there again. That was almost curtains for Adelaide United. The intensity has been through the roof. Halloran hounding Nektarios Triantis. Vukovic, he's played Nisbet into a little bit of trouble. Irankunda taking too long, pocket picked by Jacob Farrell. And the Mariners have numbers forward here. Silvera, Vitulio. Now Theoharis comes back inside. Oh! How close was that? Fizzing past the upright.
Well, what an impact he's had. This is at the other end. That duel, Farrell's winning it, nips in, wins the ball, and that's where it starts. Theoharis, 1v1, comes across and just strikes it across the face of Joe Gauchi's goal. He's had the impact that Nick Montgomery would have wanted.
For the moment, we're being denied round 3 of Irankunda v Farrell because Irankunda's playing through the middle, just behind Halloran. There's a more central attacking option. That was a big nudge in the back from Javi Lopez. Referee says it's all fair. Here is Irankunda, wide for Goodwin. Halloran accelerates, Clough as well. Halloran near post. It was a good idea from Goodwin. Now Irankunda. Irankunda still hits it off the post. The 17-year-old almost giving Adelaide the lifeline they so desperately need. Can strike a football.
Well, we've seen that on a number of occasions. On one occasion it struck the post, but it's a warning sign to the Mariners. If you take the foot off the pedal, they will keep coming.
And surely there's not even time to take the corner. 10 years on, the Mariners are returning to the grand final. The youngest side in the competition will lock horns with Melbourne City at Combank Stadium in 2 weeks' time. It was just a bridge too far for an Adelaide side that's confidence abandoned them. But the most important part of the season in these last 2 months, confidence, that precious commodity in football, well and truly on the side of the Central Coast Mariners. What a night for the home side, who win 4-1 on aggregate. It's all finished here in Gosford. Central Coast Mariners 2 and grand final bound. Adelaide United 0.